Welcome to Kidz Do Positive Thingz. Kids are amazing, kids are cool. Kids like me help you groove. So follow your dreams and you will see you can dream big just like me. Kids do positive things. Kids do positive things. Kids do positive things. Kids do positive things. Hi, I'm Cleveland, your host, along with Elijah, our music coordinator. We're back with the brand new Kidz Do Positive Thingz show. And in case you forgot, Kidz Do Positive Thingz is about amazing kids and the things they do. It's a show about encouraging and empowering kids to pursue their dreams and to be the best that they can be. Welcome to the Kidz Do Positive Thingz show. Hi, I'm Cleveland, your host.
And I'm Adam Miles, guitarist.
Today, we live in a world where kids are faced with challenges and real issues. We want to share with you today about an inspirational sports documentary that was filmed right here in Memphis, Tennessee. The 2012 Academy Award-winning documentary, Undefeated, is a true story about the Memphis High School Tigers' 2009 football season.
Mr. Bill Courtney is not only a great coach, but he's a truly inspirational man.
The players had to deal with problems on the field and off the field. We are honored to have on the set today Mr. Bill Courtney, who is a former high school football coach. He volunteered to lend a hand to the Memphis football team for over 6 years. Mr. Courtney, thank you for being a part of the Kidz Do Positive Thingz show.
Proud to be here, buddy. Thanks for having me, Cleveland.
You have been such an inspiration to the kids in the Memphis area and kids around the world. How did you get involved with the Memphis High School football team?
A gentleman that works for me named Jim Tipton had some friends that were cooking pre-game meals for inner-city football teams. Mm-hmm. And he thought that was a neat thing to do. So sometimes adults do positive things too.
Right.
And he went across the street. My business is very near Manassas. Literally just went across the street and asked how he could help. And I used to coach football for a living before I got into the lumber business. Mm-hmm. And one thing led to another, and they asked me to come out for spring practice to help out for a couple weeks, which I did, which is in 2003, and that 2 weeks turned into 6.5 years.
That's awesome. You talked about your first 2 weeks of challenges in the movie. Can you tell the kids about that?
Well, that was, if you're talking about from the movie,
mm-hmm.
that was the first 2 weeks of the 2009 season.
Right.
So really there was 5 years of challenges before those 2
Right.
weeks. But in those 2 weeks, I had 2 different players shot. I had one player get in trouble with the police, and I was very frustrated because for 5 years we talked about character and commitment and integrity and doing the positive things.
Right.
And when you talk about that and you teach kids to do that and you hope that that's what they're doing, and then they go in a matter of 2 weeks, you get into all these troubles. It was frustrating. And so the 2009 season, which was to be one of our more promising years, mm-hmm. started out with a lot of problems. And it was my job to try to convince the kids to get under control.
I believe that all kids are special and unique. And through your football program, you were trying to bring out the true spirit in these players?
Yeah, look, okay, remember this if you ever remember anything, okay? It's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Joes. What that means is it's not about teaching proper blocking and proper tackling and an offense and a defense and special teams. None of that matters if you have a bunch of kids who don't understand first commitment to their team, commitment to their teammates, character, the ability to come back from adversity. Those things are what matters. So when you teach that first, then the X's and O's come. Mm-hmm. I like to say, I don't coach football. I coach kids who play football. I'm more interested in coaching the kids on the tenets and principles in life that carry you and sustain you beyond football. And if I can get an army of kids who adhere to those notions, then the football comes easy.
That's awesome. How did you even deal with the setbacks, though?
Perseverance never takes a break. And in the marathon of life, there is no finish line. You never stop. And there's always going to be setbacks, and there's always going to be challenges, and there are always going to be tough things. The thing that distinguishes champions from losers are the ones who can meet those challenges head on, and regardless of external factors and regardless of problems, you just keep going. There is no finish line. In a race, when you run a race, you take off and you run as hard as you can, and then when you cross the finish line, the race is over. And either you're first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever, the race is over. In life, there is no finish line. You simply just keep running.
I love the part where you said you were down by 20 points and this is the time to show what determination is. Did the kids understand what you were trying to tell them?
Yeah, after 6 years of coaching that group of kids, they understood. You can look at adverse situations. You can look at tough situations, and those types of things can either be something that cripples you or it can be an opportunity. And to me, a 20-point halftime loss was an opportunity. It was an opportunity to show that all of these tenets and fundamentals and principles that we'd worked on for 5 years, it was an opportunity to show that they do work, and we could persevere, and we could overcome difficult circumstances, and we could come back. And they knew exactly what I was talking about, and we did. We won that game.
Wow, because I know what it feels like to be down by 20 points.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is.
And you can look around in the eyes of the people around you, you know, and you can see if they're defeated or if they've got the resolve and the inner courage and the character to try to overcome that problem and come back. And when you look through the face mask of eyes, and the eyes are bright and determined and ready to go, you know that these tenets are in a person's soul. When you look through the face mask and you see eyes of doubt and despair and discouragement, that's when you know it's not about blocking, it's not about tackling, it's not about that. It's about, right now, I've got to work on that kid and get his head right, and then he'll go win a game for you.
Right. We are having a great time on the set with Mr. Bill Courtney.
Hey kids, thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back.
The Kidz Do Positive Thingz organization has created an exciting and innovative new way to reach out to the kids in our communities.
The KDPT show is designed to highlight kids in a positive way. The show focuses on education, arts, academics, sports, and music.
We want to strengthen our city and communities with positive energy from our youth.
Through the Kidz Do Positive Thingz TV show, we can encourage thousands of kids to set goals, pursue their dreams, and be the best they can be.
The Kidz Do Positive Thingz organization is a local 501c3 nonprofit organization benefiting kids ages 5 to 17. We are asking business leaders, school officials, youth organizations, parents, and most of all, kids to get involved and partner with the Kidz Do Positive Thingz organization. Your sponsorship and donations are welcome to benefit the ongoing efforts of this program. For more information on sponsorship and/or donations, please go to our website at kdptshow.com. Thank you.
You got to believe in yourselves, fellas. You can come back. You just got to go to work. Coming back, man. Let's go. Let's go, man.
Manassas trying to do again. 5-man front. Drops, looks, throws. Got a man open, and it's caught inside the 5. Touchdown! First and 10. Here's the handoff. Fumbling the ball. It's loose, and Manassas has come up with it 25-yard line.
You got to mash. They're laying down. You got to keep mashing.
Redmond, the backs and the eyes in. Redmond drops straight back. looks, throws, it is caught. Touchdown! 20-14, Manassas in the midst of a comeback.
We just won the third quarter. If we win the fourth quarter, we win the freaking game. Let's go get them, guys.
Looked like Manassas was going to get blown out of here. And now, right now, they've got all the momentum down by 6 and with the ball. Manassas trying to take the lead. They have the backs in the eye. Redmond, here's the handoff. Powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Manassas.
We are back on the set with Mr. Bill Courtney from the documentary Undefeated. Can you tell us about some of the other kids in the school?
Don't be confused. There were failures. There's kids who didn't adhere to what we're talking about, and there's kids who fell off the map and didn't do well. But the thing you have to understand is that there's always going to be wins and losses. You're never going to bat 1,000, right? And so the story of Undefeated is not about being undefeated in the score. It's about not being defeated by your circumstances.
Right.
And there's kids from all over that program from 6 years who've gone on to do great things and are in college.
Can you give us some updates on some of the main characters like OC or Montrell Money or Chavis?
Yeah, they're in school. They're doing fine. I'll tell you specifically about Chavis because he had the longest way to come.
Right.
He is a junior at Lane College in Jackson. He's got a 2.7 GPA, and he's on schedule to graduate in 2015. And if you look at the transformation that took place in his life that you see in the film, I mean, that wasn't about football. That was about the things that matter. It was about character and commitment and integrity and those things. And, we always talk about with the kids that are in trouble, that risk kids, and how we break that cycle. Have you heard that before? How do we break that cycle? I'm here to tell you the way you break that cycle is with love and encouragement and adhering to the age-old principles that matter of character and commitment and integrity.
I think that was awesome how you encouraged them and encouraged all the players. It was a true inspiration.
Well, I appreciate it. One thing you need to know, though, don't let it go this way. A lot of people will say, you saved those kids, or you were a father to those kids. It's completely inaccurate. I didn't save anybody. I wasn't a father to anybody. I was a coach and a mentor and a teacher, but not a father. Nobody can replace a father. But let me tell you this, I also can't save them, because if I was the foundation of what turned them around, and then 15 years from now when they're 35 and life hits them in the mouth and tough things happen to them and they're falling down, that means they would fall down to me. Well, they can't be falling down to me when they're 35 years old. I'm long gone. They have to be falling down on these principles. These principles have to form their foundation, and then that's what they have to use as a springboard to the rest of their lives. So understand, it's important that you instill these principles, but it's important also that you stand back and allow these principles to take hold in somebody's life and work, so that becomes their foundation. I can't be their foundation. So I didn't save anybody. All I did was teach these fundamentals, and through my own life, hopefully give them an illustration of how these fundamentals work in their own life, and then let them save themselves.
Right.
That's how you get a greater community of kids doing better things.
Mm-hmm. So how has your life changed since the movie came out?
Well, I mean, I wrote a book called Against the Grain that comes out May 13th that explores and illustrates all of these principles. I shot a pilot for a TV show. I speak all over the country, and when I speak all over the country to businesses, to football teams, to churches, to large organizations, I speak to them about the very things I'm talking to you guys about. And then there's things going on like that, but in truth, it hadn't really changed my life. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I own a lumber company, and I coach football, and that's who I am.
How do you think that all kids can get the same opportunities in education?
I don't. It's a shame. In the newspaper today, the Shelby County school system, the juniors in the Shelby County school system, according to ACT scores, only 13% of them are college ready. Wow. 13% of our entire county's kids are college ready as juniors. There's problems everywhere. And so when you have a stat like that and you have problems like that, kids don't have the same opportunity in different schools for education, and it's a problem. And it has to be addressed because you guys are the future. You're the future leaders, so you're the ones that've got to think about how to change that.
Right. Well, Mr. Courtney, it seems that one of the turning points for the Manassas team was whenever you started the Man Rises Foundation. They had to go around and play for the AAA teams to get money flowing in your team. Can you tell us a little bit about the Man Rises Foundation? Yeah,
first, so that you completely understand, when we first got there were only 17 kids on the team. Mm-hmm. And the previous 10 years record was 7 wins and 93 losses, mm-hmm. which is terrible. Right. Well, one of the reasons is because there was no money in the program, and many kids didn't want to come to the program to play, and they would leave from their neighborhood and go play elsewhere. And primarily that's because to fund the program, their first 4 or 5 games, they'd have to go off to play these huge schools. They'd get $3,000 or $4,000 to pay for equipment and everything they needed for the year, but they'd get killed. And so I thought that was not fair to the kids. Right. And so we formed a nonprofit organization called Man Rise, Rise Up and Be a Man, and went out and told people all over Memphis and Shelby County our story and said, hey, this is what's going on, and we want to give these kids a fighting chance. If we can just give them a chance and give them decent equipment and level the playing field, we think they can be successful. And people from all over this community donated money to Man Rise, and with that money, we were able to start buying equipment and paying for buses and doing all that, and then they didn't have to go out and play these pay games anymore, and then the program built. And we went from 17 kids to 30 kids to 40 kids to having 70 kids on our teams the last couple of years, and went from winning 7 games in 10 years and losing 93 to our last 2 years we were 18 wins and 2 losses. Right. And it just goes to show that you can go to the worst, most downtrodden place that has done nothing but lose and turn it around if you give these kids a fighting chance.
Right. So what's the name of the award that you gave Chavis?
It's called the Uncommon Man Award. Mm-hmm. Tony Dungy, who was a football coach for the Indianapolis Colts, won a Super Bowl, wrote a book called The Uncommon Man, and it's about being uncommon. Anybody can be common. Anybody can walk around the street. Anybody can act a fool. It's about being uncommon. When you're surrounded by all kinds of stuff that's negative and tough, it's the uncommon man that doesn't follow the lead of the negativity.
The character of a man is not measured in how he handles his wins, but what he does with his failures. And tonight, we failed. And everybody says, when you get these inner city kids down, they'll lay over and you'll beat them by 40. Not us. Everybody will say they're 0-1. They're going to fold up camp. They'll be 2-8 by the end of this thing. No! Not us. You walk with your chins up. I am proud to be a Manassas Tiger on this field night because my guys did lay down. They got heart. Now let's put our mind with our heart and our bodies, and let's finish this thing this year.
It's obvious that you have a heart for helping kids, but now that you're not coaching for Manassas, do you do anything to help out the kids any?
I hang out with you guys on TV. After I left Manassas, I coached at my kids' school at St. George's for 2 years, and then I was going to kind of take a break. But my youngest son was in 7th grade 2 years ago, 8th grade this year, and he goes to a school called Grace St. Luke's in Midtown. Mm-hmm. So I ended up coaching their football team the last 2 years. And right now, I'm coaching their baseball team. And so, yeah, I'm staying real involved in coaching. And I'll end up on a high school football sideline again one day. I'm not sure where or sure when. It's got to be the right opportunity and the right fit. But another thing I'm doing that I hope at least starts a conversation with both kids and adults is this book, Against the Grain, because the very things we're talking about here are culminated in one place where you can read about it and see illustrations about it. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. Right. And you can do it through coaching, you can do it through mentoring, you can do it through the arts, you can do it through writing. There's so many different opportunities out there that allow us to have a conversation about the things we need to be talking about, like we are today.
Right.
You made such a big impact in that community. How did you think the Memphis community can come together to help all kids?
Y'all watch TV much?
No, sir.
No? Good for you. I do. I shouldn't. Brain mush, I guess, right? I have a leather chair that sits right in front of my TV. I've got 4 kids, I've got a wife, and people are visiting all the time. That leather chair that sits in front of the TV, that's my chair. That's my chair. You come over to my house and TV's on, don't you sit in that chair. That's my chair. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'd call that my comfort zone. So when the day's gone crazy and work's driven me nuts and I'm tired, I go to that chair to relax and I watch TV. That's my comfort zone. Now, your comfort zone may be your music. Your comfort zone may be your group of friends. We all have a place that we go that's comfortable and that's safe and that we can kind of recharge our batteries. And there's nothing wrong with having a comfort zone. But let me tell you about this. I was sitting in that leather chair the other day and I noticed something. Nothing amazing or profound has ever happened in my life when I was sitting in that chair. We have to get out of our comfort zones. We can't think or learn inside a vacuum. When you surround yourself with people that look and think and act and talk just like you, you're never going to be exposed to what the rest of the world says and what the rest of the world is. And until you expose yourself to that, you can't start understanding other people's point of views, other people's fears, other people's excitements. And when you don't understand those things, you can't grow together. So you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to put aside preconceived notions about race and about faith and about socioeconomics and about what you think other people think, because you don't know what other people think until you surround yourself with them, get out of your comfort zone and learn from them. But when that happens, you found common ground. When that happens and you treat one another in a civil manner, you found a way to find things that you can agree about. And then you find out just how much people really are just like you and how they share the same inhibitions and fears and excitements. And that's how you grow together. So your question is, how do we grow the city? How do we do better? Mm-hmm. We got to break down some stupid barriers that a bunch of hard-headed adults put up and get out of our comfort zones and put aside preconceived notions and just seek to learn and love one another. And when we do that and we find common ground and we can grow together, we can build a better society. Once you have character, integrity, you understand the tenets of grace and forgiveness. Once you understand all of those things and then you're willing to get out of your comfort zone, you can lead and exact huge measure of change.
Right.
Mr. Courtney, thank you so much for being on the show and being such an inspiration to the kids. You have really inspired me to be the best I can be.
Well, I appreciate that, buddy. Thanks so much for having me.
Kids, thank you for watching the show today. We had such a great time with Mr. Bill Courtney. Adam, what was your favorite part of the movie?
Well, I really liked it when they were 20 points down, Manassas.
Yeah.
And they came back up and still won it.
Yeah. I think my favorite part was when Chavis won the Uncommon Man Award, because no matter what, no matter the setbacks that he had in his life, no matter whatever happened in his life, he still came back and had a positive attitude, and he even tried to give it to Money because remember he had the leg injury. And he ended up still getting a scholarship, which I thought was awesome. But he just basically said that no matter what Money was going through, it was going to get better for him. And I thought that was very encouraging and empowering. So
he had that leg injury, but he still came back and played.
He still came back and played the last game of the year, and that was very empowering. So how did this movie inspire you?
Well, it really inspired me to. Well, when I'm doing my guitar, sometimes I'll get frustrated, and by watching the movie, it's really inspired me to just keep going and don't give up. Whenever I get frustrated, don't stop, just keep going. How about you?
It inspired me to keep, as you say, keep going, and no matter the setbacks or how I might deal with the situation, just to not give up and to be inspired by other people and inspire myself to try and do better, which is exactly what we're trying to do with the Kidz Do Positive Thingz show. We're just trying to inspire you kids out there to make good decisions and be the best kids you can be. For more information, you can go to kdptshow.com.
Well, that's our show for today. Elijah and I would like to thank you for joining us. We also want to thank all of our guests.
Have you found that DVD yet? Hurry and send it in.
Remember, you are an amazing kid. Just dream big. We can change the world. Just be a positive kid. Oh, and don't forget, kids do positive things.